Today, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar will give lecture on the topic of the diversification strategy, which is the topic of the strategic management, which is taught in the management courses of the different program. Diversification strategy. Today, each country's entity is originated by the production, and in production, the product's diversity has an important role. Product diversity has an important role in any of the business. The increasing significance in explaining the changes in the form of organization and the industry has led to the significant advancement in different areas of the social sciences. In this article, diversity is divided into the two parts, related diversity and the unrelated diversity. The keywords are the diversification strategy, related diversity, and the unrelated diversity. Many of the current organizations in the world are moving toward expanding and improving their business environment. One of the reasons may be meeting customers' multiple needs. Customer has the multiple needs are there. By meeting customers' multiple needs, manager attempt to make them more loyal to the organization. For this reason, and other technical ones such as a raw material procurement and the final products distribution system inside organization, many organizations have decided the diversification strategy. Diversification strategy can influence the competitive balance in the industry. In diversity analysis, there are two key elements including the risk and the output. One way to reduce risk is to the diversify investment. Investment company can reduce risk by investing in the different assets and forming a portfolio. In Iran, few researchers have been conducted about the relationship between the product diversity and the manufacturing company performance. Explanation of the diversification concept. In the later half of the 20th century, due to the vulnerability of the specified company to the rapid and unexpected change of the environment, diversity has become an essentially basic for the company's growth and survival. According to Hall, diversity is a kind of the strategy which is often used for expanding the company's market or increasing sales and profit. According to Nair, companies have diversified if they work simultaneously in more than one business. So the diversity strategy can be defined as the extent of participating in the different business and the main model of the relationship among different business of the company. In sum, there are two precise definitions. Diversity is a tool to expand the business of the company commercial activity. This is the and diversity is an extent in which the institutions are working in different business simultaneously. This is meaning of the diversity. Now come to the related diversity. The related diversity is reached when a company has different business units which are related to each other in some way. For example, a smaller business in this kind of diversity, the units are common or they are jointly used by the related business in that company. Overall, these are tangible and intangible relation among different business units. The related diversity leads to the reciprocal transfer of the information between organization manager and the department manager. It causes organization managers in organization with related diversity compared to the organization with unrelated one to have more information about their department managers. Unrelated diversity. In the unrelated diversity, a company is diversified in the areas that have least similarity to each other. Overall, this kind of diversity causes company to collect cash flow from the department and reallocate them to the department. In other words, the unrelated diversity strategy is the result of diversification among the different industry. According to the Cochard, the difference between the related and unrelated diversity is exactly connected to the sources of assets available to the company. Existence of the special assets, especially assets which have the tactic nature, will more lead to the related diversity than the unrelated one. Company with a high amount of the intangible assets, special and the non-flexible assets attempt to invest these sources in their related activity. In 1974, Ramlet classified business activity from the amount and type of the diversification points of the view. The two key scales for the classification of the specialty rate and the relation rate. The specialty rate is defined as the ratio of the income of the company's biggest business to the total income of the company in a definite year. The relation rate is the ratio of income of the biggest activity group relating to the total income of the company. The related activity is an activity which is a relationship with the current activity area of the company. According to this classification, Ramlet classify company from diversity point of the view into three categories. Single product company, single business, SR greater than 0.995. Companies with the medium diversity, SR 0.7 to the 0.95. Company with a high amount of the diversity, SR is less than 0.7. Silva Lopes describe four classes of diversity in investment in a related diversity as follows. New investment in the similar products. Investment which lead to the vertical integration of the complementary activity. The integration may forward or backward. Investment which lead to the globalization through the increasing the participation in the foreign market and their products. Investment which led to the formation of the intangible asset like the marketing knowledge, patented technology, product differentiation, and the management capability. She says that according to this kind of the classification of the related diversity assets, totally four levels of the diversity can be observed among the company. Company without or with less diversity, company with the medium diversity, company with the high diversity, complexes, or company with the unrelated diversity. Company whose sales are at least 80% due to the one main business are considered as company without or with less diversity. This kind of the company extensively focus on one centralized activity. Company with the medium diversity are company which are diversified to some extent but yet achieve their income from the one business. In such companies, 70 to 80% of sales are reached by the one business. In company with the high amount of the diversity, none of the business activity attribute more than 70% of the company sales to themselves. And finally, companies which are called complex or have unrelated business are diversified in areas without any physical resource and the common knowledge and are just common in the financial resources. From geography diversity point of view, companies are divided into the three parts. The first group, company with the low geographic diversity. The second group, company with the medium geographic diversity. The second group, the company with the high geographic diversity. Companies with less than 20% of the sales are done in the outside the continental central office are considered as company with the low geographic diversity. This rate for company with the medium geographical diversity is 20 to 25%, and for company with the high geographical diversity is more than 35%. Theories about diversity of production in the organization. Efficiency theory. The motion implies that the purpose of using diversity strategy is to achieve the synergy. In this study, synergy is defined as the reality which is achieved through the economics of sale and economics of escape in production, marketing of the raw material, research and development. By engineering, by integrating commercial unit, financial operation and managerial synergism is formed when different commercial units' performance and activity are complementary. Exclusive theory. This theory implied that the company used the diversity strategy to achieve the marketing power. Assumptions of this theory indicate that the different company use the diversity strategy to take advantage of the business unit financial assistance, limit the competition in the several markets simultaneously, and prevent the competitors to potentially enter their market. These three advantages of the exclusive theory support the reciprocal ideas and relationship of the competitors. Value theory. This theory considers attainments of the managers who have more information about the stock exchange and insecure potential value of the target company. Assumption of this theory indicate that the company has valuable and the unique information for increasing the quality of the total business through the integrating, achieving and diversifying the part of the business which has a potential value and makes value of integrating the business. Empire building theory. This theory implies that the managers follow their personal purposes rather than increasing the value of the stakeholder by using the diversity strategy. Process theory. This theory indicates that the strategic decisions are considered as the results of the internal processes of the company, such as the organization routine flow or the political power in the decision-making process rather than a completely reasonable option. Offensive theory. Holders and Sinam have defined the term offensive as follows. A company wants a rich business and transfer its money to the parent company. Disruption theory. This theory indicates that the diversity incentives are occurred due to the economic disruption. Get believes that the economic disruption make a lot of changes in the individual's expectation and increases the total degree of the unreliability. Travin has argued that the value theory, empire building theory, and the process theory are expected more than others. The author has also mentioned that the most dominant theory, efficacy theory, has achieved a limited credit. Generally, many economists consider a diversity strategy a useful one. They believe that the diversity is a tool to expand the company's border toward addressing the coordination problem in some market and a strategy which connect company in terms of the consumers and the suppliers. Another function of the diversity, especially the unrelated diversity, is to achieve a proper tool to manage risk. This issue emerges in the financial incentive to the create diversity. In the diversification strategy, customers' loyalty to the brand will compensate low price of the competition. In this strategy, valuable differentiation in the consumer product and services decreases consumers' sensitive to the prices. In this study, there is an ability to defend against newcomers because for overtaking a product, the new product should be better than the previous one, and new production and the services must be equal to the previous ones from the efficacy point of the view, and also must have a lower price to overcome the current products and services, which achieving these two categories by newcomers to a specific industry require time and money. Conclusion and the suggestions. Diversification, especially the unrelated diversity in a stage of the large company like Sepkel, is an important strategy in the development of the enterprise. It is suggested that if two managers have the tendency to use the diversified strategy, first they should measure their current status, strength and weakness, and opportunity threat spot. And then, if they consider the diversity suitable for organization's purpose, they should expand their business area with a clear visibility. Results of each diversification and centralism option may emerge soon. So it is suggested that the manager should consider the time gap and not judge too soon in order to decide the efficacy and effectiveness of the chosen strategy. Today we have discussed about the diversification strategy, related diversity, explanation of the diversification concept, related diversity, unrelated diversity, and the theories about the diversity of production in the organization, efficiency theory, exclusive theory, value theory, empire building theory, process theory, offensive theory, disruption theory. Then lastly, we have discussed about the conclusion. This is about related to the diversification strategy in a company. Diversification strategy in a company is a mostly used in the case of the product diversity.